Hello, I'm Dan Musselman with Penguin Random House Audio, and I'm here today with the one and only Adenrele Ojo. Welcome, Adenrele.
Hi, Dan. Thanks for having me.
You are welcome. I'm looking forward to this. So let's jump right in.
Okay.
How did you get started as an audiobook narrator?
I was part of an African American theater company in Los Angeles, and Janet Stark was specifically looking for an African American actress for, I was told, for a slave story. I came in for an audition and I got some sides, and they were not a slave story. It was so I was like, she gave me a set of sides, and I was like, okay, this is kind of like sci-fi, and I was like, this is not a slave story. And so then you came into the room and you were listening to me do the first set of sides, and then after that, you opened up the door and you came into the booth and you said, can you read these? And I was like, sure. And when I started reading, I was like, here's the slave story. And so I booked both. I did the sci-fi, and then I did the slave story. And that is how I got started. That was 14 years ago.
What kind of audiobooks do you really love? Do you really like to read?
I like to, it's so interesting. I really enjoy a lot of genres. I am a suspense thriller type of girl. So I love suspense thrillers, and I also love sci-fi and fantasy. I love things like Star Wars. I've just always loved that in the movies. So I love it on the page as well. So those would be like my two favorite genres, but I really like just a mix of everything. I learned so much, and you just get to play and have fun with a different variety of genres.
Do you have a favorite book that you've narrated?
Someone Knows My Name by Lawrence Hill. And that was the slave story. I learned so much in that book. It was historical fiction, and it was just beautifully written. And so I would have to say that is one of my favorites. I'll never forget that one.
You and I have worked on many books together, and I absolutely love your narration. What advice would you give to an aspiring narrator?
Come prepared. Read your book, do your prep. If you have questions, ask, come prepared. And then when you get there, just have fun. I mean, that's what we do. Acting is fun. It should be fun. So come have fun, but come prepared. Show up ready to go. So that's what I would say.
Right. And what do you think is the relationship between the narrator and the director during the recording process?
Well, for me, when I have a director, I'm so grateful when I can have a director. When you can have another set of ears, just another mouth, someone else to just relate and that's listening in. As narrators, we think we know what we're doing. We think we know. We've read it. I know what I'm doing. I'm an actor, but sometimes you don't hear yourself, and luckily someone else is listening in. Or if you have a question, or I've struggled sometimes with, wait, what's the structure of this sentence? I'm missing something here. And that person can be there to work through it with me. So I'm not alone. I have someone there that's supporting me, that's listening in, that has my back, that has my best interest. So when you can have a director, that is wonderful. So yeah, they're there to support, and I appreciate that. When I do direct, I learn a lot from the other narrators that I can apply to myself as a narrator. So that's amazing in itself. So I have that where I've picked up tips and I'm like, oh, they do that? Oh, I should do that too. Oh, okay, that's smart. So I'm grateful for that opportunity because I can apply it to my craft as a narrator and bring that when I'm in studio, performing.
So for you as a narrator, sometimes you'll get that book that is just perfect and you love it. And sometimes you'll get a book that maybe you're not completely warmed up to it, but you're getting there. And so, how do you get through the recording day in the studio when the book is just not quite where you want to be with it, or you're not making sense of it, or frankly, you're not agreeing with what's going on with the characters. How do you deal with that?
I take a nap. Dan, I really do. I literally I stop and I take a nap. So right outside my booth are 3 gigantic, big, fluffy pillows. So when I step out, I just step out on the nice, fluffy softness. So sometimes I just have to stop and I will get down on my pillows. I'll set my phone for, a certain amount of time, and I will just kind of give myself a reset. And I will lay down and hopefully get some new, fresh energy. And then I'll get back in the booth and okay, let's go. But yes, I take a nap.
Have you ever had anything happen in there that was really embarrassing, just something that you'd like to get rid of, but here I am bringing it up with you today?
I really haven't had anything that was embarrassing. I've had some funny moments. When I was in the studio, I was actually working on a book that you cast me in. It was Eric Jerome Dickey's One Night. And I was working with Olivia Mackenzie Smith. And I was in the middle of this really intimate, romantic scene, between this couple. And it was just happening. It was hot and it was heavy. And I was just in it. And I was going and I'm talking and I'm saying, and next thing I know, Olivia is just laughing. And I'm like, I stop and I'm like, why is she laughing? I'm in my moment here. And she is laughing. I'm like, what? Why are you laughing? And she was like, you said she took off the laundry. And I was like, what? And she was like, it's lingerie, Adenrele. I was like, I said, what? And she was like, you said laundry. And I think I used to work for a laundry company at the time. So I think I may have had that on my mind or something like that. But I was like, so we had a nice little laugh about those words, those little slips that happen in the studio, those little weird things. And you like, I said, what? You're like, where did that come from?
Have you come across a character or a book that really spoke to you, that just got inside of you and maybe explained things about yourself that you hadn't realized before?
Actually, there was a book, but I directed it. And it was called My Morning Routine. And the book was all about what successful people do in the morning. And even preparing for going to bed. And morning doesn't mean AM. It could just be when they start their day. And what I appreciated about that book, the different chapters, it covered anybody who can have an excuse. Oh, I work at night. Oh, I have children. Oh, I have this. So all the excuses that you can think of for why you don't do or can't do what you want to do were in the book.
Do you go back and listen to the audiobooks you've narrated?
I do. It depends on which ones. I like to hear multi-narrator books. It's nice to hear, you have your part. So you're doing your part and that's it. That's all you hear. That's all you really know. But it's nice to hear it all come together. The give and take, the call and response of the different characters as they flow and tell this story and come in and out. So I like to hear the multi-narrator books to see how it all comes together, to hear all the different voices and all the different characters come together. So yeah, I have books like that. I'll go, oh, I want to hear that. Oh, I think that's going to be good. I want to hear what they did.
Would you recommend audiobook narrating to, young actors who are looking to, be on camera, be on stage? Would you recommend it?
I would. But just like any other craft, make sure you know what you're getting into. There's too many people thinking like, oh, audiobooks is some fast money. I can just do me a book and make me some money. This work is not easy. The stamina to sit in a booth in an enclosed small space for, 6-7 hours a day, trying to do the whole movie. You are the movie. You're every character. You are the narrator. You are the sound effects. You are everything. You are the music. So all of that needs to live and it all needs to breathe. And if you think you can do the whole movie, then hey, come on in and, try it out and, see if you like it. I mean, you can always change your mind, but it's not just something like, oh, I'm going to try that today. Okay, I'm going to go try me some cornflakes right now. It's not that thing. So, but yeah, I would recommend it. It's a wonderful way to express yourself. It's another, creative outlet. But it's work. It definitely is work, but it's wonderful.
I have had so much fun talking to you today, Adenrele. I always have fun talking to you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.